Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most heartwarming and emotional love stories that will keep you hooked until the very end. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy stories about love, fate, and unexpected connections. Now, let's dive into today's story, the online gamer love. The world of gaming had always been an escape for Emily. By day, she was a software tester at a dull office where fluorescent lights hummed and deadlines loomed like thunderclouds. But by night, she transformed into Alicia, a fearless archer in the online fantasy game Legends of Etheria. Here, she wasn't the quiet, anxious woman who kept herself at work. She was a hero, sharp-eyed and unstoppable. It was during one of those endless raids, where dozens of players worked together to slay a massive dragon boss, that she first met Rogue Knight 99. He was reckless, bold, and annoyingly charming in the game chat. When half the team was panicking about the dragon's fire attacks, his messages popped up. "Relax, I got this. Follow my lead." And somehow he did. He dodged fire blasts with ease, tanked as no one else dared to, and kept cracking jokes in the middle of chaos. Emily couldn't help but laugh, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "You're insane," she typed. "Nah, just skilled," he replied, followed by a winking emoji. That raid turned into more raids. Raids turned into quests. Quests turned into late-night grinding sessions. Before long, Alicia and Rogue Knight 99 were inseparable, a duo others recognized instantly. But it wasn't just about the game anymore. At first, it was small talk between battles. "Where are you from? How long have you been playing? What's your favorite weapon build?" But soon, the walls crumbled. Emily found herself telling him things she never told anyone. How she hated her job, but stayed for security. How she loved sketching, but hadn't picked up a pencil in months. How sometimes she felt invisible in her own life. And he listened, not just a passive, of someone distracted, but really listened. He teased her when she was too serious, encouraged her when she doubted herself, and shared his own stories. His real name was Alex. He lived 2 states away. He worked as a freelance graphic designer and confessed he spent way too much time online. They talked until dawn some nights, their voices soft through their headsets as the world outside went quiet. "Do you ever think," Alex said one night, "that maybe the people we meet online see us more clearly than anyone in real life?" Emily's chest tightened. "Yeah, I think about that a lot." The moment it shifted from friendship to something more wasn't grand. It was subtle. One evening, after a long gaming session, Alex sent her a message out of nowhere. "Don't laugh, but I think my favorite part of this game isn't winning. It's hearing you laugh when you're having fun." Emily froze, her heart racing as she stared at the words glowing on her monitor. She typed back, her hands trembling, "You're such a flirt." "Only with you," he replied instantly. From that night, the way they spoke changed. Compliments slipped more easily into their conversations. Good night texts became routine. And Emily noticed the way her heart skipped whenever she saw the little green appear beside his username, telling her he was online. Still, beneath the growing connection, fear lurked. Emily never turned on her webcam. She didn't know if Alex was truly who he said he was. Maybe he'd be disappointed if he saw her, plain Emily, with her messy bun, oversized hoodies, and a nervous habit of biting her lip until it bled. And maybe meeting him in person would shatter everything. One night, as her characters rested at a glowing campfire in-game, Alex broke the silence. Can I ask you something? Something real?" Her heart thumped. "What is it? Would you ever want to meet? Like outside the game?" The question hung heavy in the air. Her breath caught, and for a long time, she didn't respond. Meeting him was the one thing she both desperately wanted and deeply feared. Finally, she typed back, "Maybe one day." It wasn't a yes, but it wasn't a no. And for now, that was enough. That night, as she lay in bed staring at the ceiling, Emily realized something terrifying and beautiful. She was falling for a man she had never met. And if fate was cruel, she might one day discover that the person behind Rogue Knight 99 was nothing like the Alex she had come to know. But her heart whispered what her mind tried to silence. Sometimes, love begins not with a glance across a room, but with a voice in your headset and a laugh in the dark. The days blurred into nights, and nights blurred into dawn. For Emily, logging into Legends of Etheria wasn't just a hobby anymore. It was a lifeline. Every ping of a message, every quest, every laugh with Alex through her headset became the highlight of her day. At work, she stared blankly at spreadsheets, her mind replaying their late-night conversations. When her co-workers joked around the break room, she kept silent, secretly counting the hours until she could go home, switch on her monitor, and hear his voice. One evening, after an especially exhausting day, Emily logged in later than usual. Alex was already waiting at their usual spotting game, his character standing by the glowing waterfall they had claimed as their meeting place. "Hey!" His voice came through, soft and familiar. "Rough day?" Emily sighed. "You could say that. Everything just feels heavy lately. Work, life, everything." There was a pause before Alex answered. "Then let me carry some of it, even if it's just for tonight." And he did. He made her laugh until her sides ached. He listened when her voice cracked. He distracted her with quests, but never ignored her silences. That night, Emily realized just how much she leaned on him. She wasn't just playing with Rogue Knight 99. She was falling for Alex. A week later, while they were running through a dungeon together, Alex suddenly asked, "Em, can I be honest?" "Always. I don't just want to hear your voice anymore. I want to see you." Her fingers froze on the keyboard. "See her?" The thought made her stomach twist. I don't know," she stammered. "Hey, no pressure. His voice softened. "I feel like we're already so close. But I want to look into your eyes when I tell you things. I want you to know I'm real. That we're real." Emily's chest tightened. She wanted it too, more than anything. But fear screamed louder. What if he saw her and thought she was enough? So she laughed nervously and said, "Maybe one day." But the truth was, one day was becoming harder to avoid. The turning point came unexpectedly. It was a Saturday night, and they had been gaming for hours when Alex said, "Hold on, don't freak out, but I'm turning on my camera." "Wait, what?" Before she could stop him, her screen lit up with his video feed. There he was, Alex, not a faceless username or a voice in her headset. A man with messy dark hair, stubble on his jaw, and eyes that seemed both nervous and warm. He smiled sheepishly. "Hey!" Emily's heart pounded. She didn't turn on her camera. She couldn't. But something about seeing him, real flesh and blood, made the whole world shift. "Now you know," he said with a grin. "I'm not a 50-year-old catfish. Promise." She laughed despite herself. "You don't look like one." "Your turn," he asked gently. Her breath caught. "Not yet," she whispered. He didn't push. "That's okay. I'll wait until you're ready." And it was that patience, that quiet understanding, that made Emily's walls begin crack. A few nights later, after hours of laughter and side quests, Alex grew quiet. "Em," he said, "I've been thinking, what if we actually met? In real life?" Her heart nearly stopped. "You mean face-to-face?" "Yeah, no pressure. Just dinner, coffee, something simple. I don't care what. I just want to be in the same room as you. To know this isn't just pixels and voices." Emily hesitated, torn between fear and desire. The thought terrified her, but the ache in her chest when she imagined saying no was even worse. Finally, she whispered, "Okay, let's do it." Alex exhaled, relief flooding his voice. "Really? Really? Then it's a date," he said, and Emily could hear the smile in his voice. The following week was a blur of nerves. Emily spent hours standing in front of her mirror, criticizing herself. Was she too plain? Would he be disappointed? What if the spark they shared online evaporated in person? But beneath the anxiety, there was something else. Hope. The kind of hope she hadn't felt in years. For the first time in her life, Emily wasn't just logging into a game to escape reality. She was preparing to step into it. And as the day of their meeting drew closer, Emily knew one thing for sure. Whether this ended in heartbreak or something extraordinary, her life was about to change forever. Emily stood outside the cafe, her stomach in knots. The late afternoon sun bathed the streets in golden light, but all she could feel was a pounding in her chest. Her palms were damp, her knees shaky. She had spent hours getting ready. Tried on a dozen outfits, reapplied makeup twice, then wiped it all off and settled for a natural look. Her hair, usually in a messy bun during gaming marathons, now fell carefully around her shoulders. But no matter what she did, she couldn't silence the voice in her head. What if he's disappointed? What if the chemistry doesn't translate? The cafe door swung open, and for a terrifying second she thought it was him. But it wasn't, just a stranger leaving. Emily checked her phone. One new message. Alex, I'm here. Walking up now. Her breath caught. She turned toward the corner of the street, and there he was. Alex looked almost exactly like he had on the video call. Tall, broad shoulders, slightly nervous smile. But something about seeing him in person made Emily's world tilt. He wasn't just a voice in her headset anymore. He was real. When their eyes met, something flickered in his gaze. Recognition, warmth, relief. Emily, he said softly, stepping closer. She nodded, her throat tight. Hi. For a moment, neither of them spoke. They just stood there, drinking each other in like a pair of long-lost friends finally reunited. Then Alex chuckled, breaking the tension. Okay, this feels surreal. I keep expecting your avatar to pop up behind you. Emily laughed, the sound shaky but genuine. Yeah, same. You're taller than I pictured. And he hesitated, his eyes locking onto hers. You're perfect. Her face heated, but the anxiety in her chest loosened. Inside the cafe, they found a small corner table. Emily fidgeted with her cup, while Alex leaned forward, elbows on the table, as if he couldn't get close enough. So, he said, grinning, what's it like meeting your raid partner in real life? Terrifying, Emily admitted, making him laugh. They talked about everything and nothing, their favorite quests, their least favorite bosses, their first impressions of each other. Alex confessed he'd known from the very first dungeon that she was different, that her laugh had hooked him before he even realized it. Emily admitted she had tried not to fall for him, but failed spectacularly. There were awkward pauses, sure, but they were quickly filled with smiles, laughter, and the kind of silence that felt comfortable instead of heavy. But midway through their coffee, Emily's insecurities resurfaced. She caught sight of a couple of nearby tables. The woman effortlessly stylish, the man leaning close with adoring eyes. A pang of doubt shot through her. Why would Alex, someone so kind, so good-looking, want me when he could have someone like her? Her smile faltered. Alex noticed instantly. Hey, where'd you go just now? Emily shook her head. Nowhere. Just overthinking. He leaned forward, his voice firm but gentle. Emily, you don't need to be anyone else. You're the girl who stayed up with me until 3 a.m. laughing about glitching through walls. The girl who believed in me when I said I want to quit my job and chase something better. You're enough. You've always been enough. Her eyes stung with tears. And in that moment, she believed him. After coffee, they decided to walk through the city. The air was cool, streetlights flickering on as dusk settled in. At one point, Emily tripped on a crack in the sidewalk, and Alex instinctively reached for her hand. She froze, staring down at their intertwined fingers. His hand was warm, steady, and when she looked up, Alex's eyes were searching hers with unspoken questions. She didn't pull away. Instead, she held on tighter. They stopped in front of a park fountain, the sound of rushing water filling the air. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Alex whispered, "Can I tell you something?" Emily nodded, her heart racing. "I think I've been falling for you since the first night you carried me through that raid." She laughed, breathless. "That was months ago." "Exactly." He leaned closer, hesitating just enough for her to meet him halfway. Their lips brushed, soft, tentative, then deeper as the dam finally broke. The kiss wasn't perfect, but was real, raw, and full of everything they'd been holding back. When they finally pulled apart, Emily's eyes shimmered. "So this is what it feels like outside the game." Alex grinned. "Better graphics, huh?" She laughed through her tears and kissed him again. Weeks turned into months, And what had begun as pixels and late-night conversations became something stronger. They still gamed together, still raided, still laughed until dawn. But now, when Emily looked over her shoulder, Alex was right there beside her, not just a voice in her headset, but a hand she could hold, lips she could kiss, and a future she could believe in. The screen had brought them together, but love made sure they stayed. And that was a beautiful story of the online gamer love. Sometimes, love begins in the unlikeliest of places, even behind computer screen. But as Emily and Alex discovered, the heart always finds a way to make it real. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a little hope in love today. Comment below. Would you ever fall for someone you met online? I'd love to hear your thoughts.